Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Still no Samantha. I don't know if she's coming back. Butler is here, extra Butler. 3 times the Butler, guaranteed in every single show. What were we just talking about? I had something I wanted to tell you.
Protein bars.
Protein bars, yes. Where was I? Protein bars. What is that? I don't even know what's actually in protein bars.
Yeah. I mean,
because it's not just protein.
Yeah, there's a list of ingredients in the back.
Yeah, but it's a bunch of stuff I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's a bunch of garbage or sugar.
Palm oil, sunflower oil, cellulose gum.
Yeah. There's a
carrageenan.
It's
what is this? Steviol glycosides. Stevia. There's stevia in this.
No, okay. I don't know. I feel like the guys, the real workout dudes, they've got their protein in like shakes and things. You know what I'm saying?
Well, this is just a dry shake.
Yeah, I think what
you're supposed to do is eat like actual real food, like a chicken and a broccoli.
I think that's for fat people in January.
What, these?
Yeah.
Hey! That's mean to me.
Yeah.
I was starved. I went to the barber.
It's for people that want to eat a chocolate bar that says protein.
I didn't want to eat a chocolate bar. I just needed calories.
Yeah. I think it's for hungry fat people on a diet.
All right.
I don't know. I
Is
have
Slim
no idea.
Fast still around? Slim Fast?
Yeah, I think they are. Yeah. I can't imagine they're doing as well as they used to, just because it's all.
Well, there's far less fat people than ever before.
Well, the health industry and all the protein bar and supplement industry has splintered off to a million directions. So it used to be Slim Fast was the first original, like, hey, drink this shake. It's just protein and this and that, and then now there's a million things, and so but I think they're still around.
Yeah,
they were huge.
I remember the cans were like indestructible. They were made out of like iron. They're like you have soda cans.
Yeah.
And then you have Slim Fast cans. I remember my mom dabbled in it, and I remember as a kid I picked one up. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, why is it so thick?
Yeah, why is the walls of the can are like it's like a drum?
Could you set 4 Slim Fast cans down and have a crane lower a car onto them and
it'd hold it up.
And it would hold it up, right?
Yeah. I could stand on 4 cans of Slim Fast.
Oh, you're one
easily.
can? Well, yeah, because
easily.
It was a. Because even the
why
way
did they make their can? Now this, I remember before. Look, we have a guest on the line, and I told him it was going to get weird. I said, "You just hold the line and let me get this out. I need to get this out. I need to know why Slim Fast cans are so damn thick, and I'm not gonna put our guest on the line.
It was bad
until I know why their cans are so thick, because they could have put the same shake in a Coca-Cola or a Sprite can. Same thing.
Yeah. It must have been at a time where aluminum prices were so cheap that they were just like, I'll make them thick.
Why?
Thick!
But why?
I have no idea. Yeah, sodas existed, and they realized, like, hey, the thinner we make them, the less we're going to have to spend.
We could save billions of dollars.
Mr. Fast came around, and he was like...
Mr. Atkins, actually, right?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, that would have... Well, no, Mr. Fast.
I assume
his name was Jim Fast. I'm Jim Fast or Slim Fast.
My nickname is Slim Jim Fast. Very confusing. And I'm getting sued. But
Slim Jims are way better than Slim Fast. I will say that.
Oh, yeah. That's garbage. I was eating a Slim Jim.
Our listeners are a little more Slim Jim, a little less Slim Fast. That's how I describe them. Naturally.
Why were the cans so thick? They were thicker
the top
than
of the
tuna
can.
cans.
Yeah, the top of the can was like an old military MRE. Like when my mom would open these things up, I'm like, God damn, what did you just get back from Afghanistan? Why are you eating that?
Yeah. That can...
You couldn't push it with your... on a soda can, you can push in the sides. It's got some give. On a Slim Fast can, good luck. You'd have to be Iron Man.
Even with the top off, you couldn't even push it. It was like a cat food can.
Yeah, it was like a cat food can.
It was a tall cat food can.
Let me ask our guest, Kenny.
Yeah.
Kenny is on the line.
I answered him, yes.
Yeah. Hi, Kenny. Tom,
Go ahead, Tom.
Tom forgot his name was not Kenny. Kenny, do you know why Slim Fast cans were so thick?
the only reason I can think of, and rest in peace, but didn't Tommy Lasorda advertise them? Maybe he just had like brute strength during the commercial.
He's a dumb old man.
He didn't even know what he was.
Here, I'm gonna hot take you. I thought Tommy Lasorda had died 3 times. I didn't like people are, oh my god, Tommy Lasorda died. I was like, I thought he died when he like before I got pubes.
By the way, all the old school athletes that endorse products had no idea what they were endorsing. God. Like, it's not like new school. Like, I imagine Russell Wilson is like gets educated on what
You always go for Russell Wilson, and I think it's because you're listeting to his podcast.
And but the old school, like Joe Montana, they just put the shoes on.
You think Pete Rose gives a damn about? Like Pete Rose, Pete Rose has the same haircut that Chucky had in Child's Play. Pete Rose is so dumb that he had a Mary Lou Retton dumb old man haircut. You think that guy gives a? He don't know.
Don't even know. The best evidence for this, and I know Bill Belichick did it for charity for Subway, but when they did a press conference and they asked Bill Belichick about the Subway commercial, he didn't even remember or know what the sandwich was called.
The sub what did he call it? He called it the Big Dipper.
No idea.
They gave me one of them specials, the meat crazimo.
And for whatever reason, that's what makes me happy. Nothing else in life, but old school sports real men not having any understanding about any product they endorsed and like screwing up the name in the after or whatever. Could care less. No. They did it for the money or whatever. Anyway, sorry, Kenny. So
when you guys get a chance, check out Hulk Hogan doing like air conditioner commercials in Japan. Those are creepy YouTube videos to watch.
Hold on. Kenny, are you trying to ruin my whole day by making me smoke weed and only watch Hulk Hogan doing air conditioning?
We're looking it up now, Kenny. Okay, I know this is not the reason.
While I'm looking it up, why don't you do what we're supposed to do here so we don't get in trouble with Mom, a.k.a. Sam? If we do, even if we just throw a little bit at it, as long as we get our chores done, which is to talk about Kenny's being on a game show, then we can smoke weed and watch Hulk Hogan sell air conditioners in Japan.
So while Daniel looks up the Hulk Hogan video, Kenny is, and we'll tell the listeners, Kenny has done Weird Job Wednesday songs for us. He was the winner for the first Tom and Dan Awards Weird Job Wednesday songs. I'm a little biased. I think Kenny is better than Daniel by far.
Well, how many?
And Pariah Mike, Joey Mazant,
I stand
all
by
these
that.
jokers.
Yeah, Kenny is the best.
Kenny blows them out of the water with his unbelievable.
You know why? You want to know why Kenny wins even over me? Yeah. And I own the show. He doesn't try hard. He's not a try hard like I am. I'm trying too hard.
Yeah, Joey Mazant's playing
try hard.
Piano,
it's
singing.
embarrassing. It's try hard. Yeah. Kenny goes out there.
Pariah Mike hitting the notes perfect.
Pariah, you're a try hard. Yeah. Kenny goes in there and he just gives you maybe 1.5%.
Yeah, one take. If it's more than one take, I don't send it.
Yeah. The bare minimum. I like that. That's what I like, Kenny.
I like that.
You're not wasting the whole day making it perfect. I mean, Pariah Mike's songs sound exactly like almost. You can't even tell the difference between the Weird Job.
It's confusing.
He sounds exactly like the artist. Anyway,
I got this Hulk Hogan ad.
Let me see.
All right, Kenny, please. I'm sorry, Kenny. We're going to continue with Hulk Hogan.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday comes again. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday comes again.
What is that? Hold on. Let me describe what's happening. So it's Hulk Hogan with his shirt off, obviously tan fudgers.
But he still has his do-rag on.
He's got a white do-rag. He is obviously standing in a green screen
where clouds flowing, like he's like flying through the sky.
Yeah,
he's Harry Styles flying, which is where you fly like you're standing.
But he's just standing in a green screen, and they've told him to sing this baby song, and then it's Japanese. Who knows what they're saying? And then they show an air conditioner.
It could be really bad.
And then they show a baby, and then they show
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday comes again. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay, and then he's laying on the cloud, and then a baby's like, "Hi, Hulk Hogan." And he's holding the air conditioner in a tiny pair of boy shorts.
But he's not even holding it. It's just like it's put in an After Effects. Uh-oh. And then there was a Bugs Bunny at the end. What he got paid like $380,000 just to walk to a green screen. He
does a lot of them. Here's one from 1991 he did. I mean, he did.
They probably paid him $500,000, flew him to Japan. He's pretending to be a sumo wrestler.
Oh, so he does the big flow air conditioners. That's like his thing. Hosonaka is what he said.
Can you look up what he got paid? That's the most interesting part because he doesn't do
obviously
anything.
Not enough. He ain't looking too good these days, you know?
But dude, he made a lot of money at his height. Because there was a time that they were paying these stars lots of huge money to fly to Japan, and they knew nobody would see it. It was pre-internet. So they were like, who cares? I'm going to embarrass myself or do whatever they want.
I know Brad Pitt, Jennifer Aniston,
I get
Tom Hanks. All these people have done Japanese commercials. I get it.
Plus, in Japan, professional wrestling is gigantic over there. So they probably paid him way more than what we even expect just because he's a superstar there.
Although, God, I keep throwing under $1 million only because I'm in my mind, I'm like, the amount of work, like, obviously, it's just, I mean, how long would that take to do? 1 hour in front of a green screen?
But you gotta, I mean,
but it's his likeness and appearance.
Is he traveling to do it?
It would be stupid because, honestly, you could film this on a green screen and send the footage, and then they could just do it. Like, maybe the allure is, hey, just go to this place, do it the green screen in L.A. where you're at. We'll get the footage over to us, and it's a easy, $900,000 or something. Or do you think it's multiple millions?
If it was the 80s, though, he might have been in Japan just to do, like, public appearances, because, again, he's a god over there because of how much they love wrestling.
Yeah. I know, like, there's urban legends about big A-list celebrities getting paid millions. You got to knock it down a few pegs for old Hulk Hogan.
It says, like, Harrison Ford, Andy Warhol were compensated well for their efforts across the pond to do ads. Like, some people that you would know, like, you don't think of Harrison Ford ever doing an ad.
But I'm telling you, there was a time in Hollywood where...
Because it says here that people were completely unaware of these type of products. So they would go over there and do it.
And no one didn't even know in the United States.
It was almost like a secret opportunity.
Yeah.
A 180 from where you're at. You go and you do it. You make a big payday. You come back. No big deal. Nobody knows it. Nobody talks about it.
But now the internet exists. This doesn't exist. Everybody knows everything.
They unearthed this particular commercial from 91 in 2015. So that's the That's the distance. But
the internet is the great equalizer with there's no more secrets. There's literally no more secrets. Yeah. All right. Sorry. Thanks for that tidbit, Kenny.
You can always count on Kenny for a little off-the-topic tidbit.
So,
very little effort just to tell you about it. Look at that. It's already a show segment.
Mm-hmm. And that's all the time we have.
Thank you so much, Kenny. Never listen again. No, I'm kidding.
So, Kenny, you heard Joey Mazant talk about his game show experiences, and you have some experiences yourself. What game shows were you on?
Yeah, so I was on the Match Game, and then I was also on Let's Make a Deal. And then I know we make fun of Butler for being a finalist, but I was actually a finalist for Deal or No Deal, as well as Jeopardy and Sports Jeopardy. So I've pretty much done the circuit route. And Joey was correct and incorrect. So I know a lot of it is casting, but I got on a majority of these shows just through general form fill-outs and just being an interesting dude. So I guess maybe I snuck in through the process, but I got on the Match Game just by filling out a form online.
Now, I think the difference is Joey's game shows were all singing based and performing.
Right. So there is an element that there's a category you need to check the box in order to be in that.
They have to perform, so they want the best performers or the worst performers. So there's auditions and casting. Mm-hmm. When you're going through obviously regular trivia shows, easier to get in just by filling out the form. So how did you get into this? Were you one of those people that followed? Because there's groups of people that are just in kind of like our BDMs, but for game shows. I'm sure there's Facebook groups, and they all just go out and try to get on.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So I'm not one of them. I grew up loving and watching game shows. So when I was like, hey, what does it take to be on this? Because I was always wondering how the heck they even pick these people. And I just found like these companies that do it. So they technically are casting companies, but it's more so casting in the sense of, hey, here are the applications. You can fill it out and be a part of it. So I'm not a part of an inner circle. I just happen to be filling out. And the good news is, like, let's say you fill out for, The Price is Right or something. The same company that does that does a bunch of other game shows. So if they like you, but they didn't choose you for one particular game show, they might back pocket you saying, oh, you're going to be good for this other game show.
Now, that one I knew of only because Tiffany and I had, and I went back and I looked at it, and it was a competitor to The Amazing Race where they were looking for guy-girl teams to be cast. And Tiffany and I went and we auditioned at the same time. And we did pretty well because we got called back. We didn't make it to the end, but the lady did say, hey, I like both of you. You guys have both have interesting jobs. Now, you got to understand that at the time, Tiffany and I both worked in radio. So it would have ticked boxes for like these guys are like, they work on the radio show.
Wacky radio.
Yeah, wacky radio guys. So they said, hey, we have other shows that we will be casting, and then I had to fill out another form for them to keep me on file, and we did that.
Yeah, and I will admit, so they do want a story. They don't want just the average person off the street. They want someone who has a gimmick or anything. So, like, for people who know me, like, I am obsessed with my dog, but I'm not, like, wearing T-shirts of him and, like, have him as a golden idol, but I played that characteristic up. So they're like, what would you do with your prize money? And I would answer, I would clone my dog, and so I can have, an infinite number of them. Just really dumb answers like that. But they eat it up. Those producers eat up those answers. So when you're actually on the show, they want you to be that character and be that person.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Like, what would you play up, Tom? Like,
I could instantly play up.
Or would you play at the honestly? Like, I think your best play. And you'd and you would become beloved on the show would be like fun loving, but just a little 35% Bumble.
Oh yeah.
We got to the next checkpoint. He forgot the train tickets. Like that sort of thing.
Play up like redneck side. Yeah. And then
there's typically two categories. They either want super wacky and bumbly, or they want sob story. They want like, all of my family died, on 9/11, so that's why I should be on here. They want one of the two.
That's a funny stat
that's
that
what
I read a couple weeks ago, is that, did you know that people whose families have entirely died, the entire family, are more likely to be on reality game shows? That's a fact.
So, Kenny, when you were on shows, you had to know trivia. You actually had to know, and I know with Jeopardy, there's tests and stuff you actually have to pass. So, are you just really good at trivia?
I'm a weirdo that just happens to know a little about a lot. Like, if you'd asked me, hey, what did Hulk Hogan, advertise in Japan in the 80s? Boom, I know that answer. So it was, I will say the Jeopardy tests are infinitely harder than what you see on the show, because they want to weed out the best of the best to get on there, because they don't want a bunch of people getting the questions wrong. They want them to get them all right. Yeah. So any test that you take in preparation just kicks your butt completely.
Also, you have to think about this, too, and I've had other Jeopardy people. I think Jeff Howe actually gave me this fact, that the test is infinitely harder than the show, and you have to think of it from the standpoint of how enjoyable would a show be where every question is excruciatingly hard and you don't know any of the answers.
Well, then no one buzzes in,
then there's no play fact. No, I mean like for even the viewers, because think about it. It's not for the people playing.
Yeah.
F those people. The contestants do not matter. Now, you know what I mean by that. They do, but they don't. Yeah. It's for the viewers. And if you're watching a show where all the questions are how many times have you gone to watch a show and it's so confusing? I know, I heard that with Game of Thrones. Some people, it's like, I don't want to do this. It's like work.
Too hard.
Yeah, you don't want work. You want it just to be a little challenging, just enough. And then you want some questions in there for you to be able to know. That way you get a feeling of like being a champion or that you're smart. I mean, there's psychology involved, I'm sure, in the viewership of these shows.
100%. Because that's what it is. They make their revenue off the viewership of the show.
Well, they're making it off of the commercials that roll.
So, Kenny, all these game shows you mentioned have money prizes? Did you win anything?
Mm-hmm.
Go
so,
through.
Yeah, so the money is real. A lot of people are like, the money is real because, and I don't know, it's long history of it, but there was an FCC scandal with game shows like back in the 50s. So ever since then, they cannot fake any of the actual money prizes. So I know when Joey said they had to spend 4 hours reviewing the tape for his Shazam thing, that was legit because they cannot afford any sort of like lawsuit or losing their license to broadcast.
Is that why there was a time when it almost seems like prize money has gone down to an amount that is like understandable? You know what I mean? Like there was a time when it was like, and you could win $1 billion. And when I was younger, I would think of like these game shows. It seemed like the money that you could win was like almost this amazing amount of cash.
Yeah.
And now it seems like a lot of the cash prizes are very reasonable. You know, it's like, you win $25,000.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's some of those shows that I think they get insurance to cover it. Like, obviously, they pay a flat rate to an insurance company. They make the game, like, especially, what's that game where the ball is like Plinko or whatever the ball falls into, and there's like a $10 million or something.
Oh, right.
But it's like they know the chances, just all in statistics, and the insurance company pays for it, and they pay $100,000 to the insurance company, and they'll cover the $10 million or something. Anyway, so
yeah, for a game of chance, that's what they do. For a game of trivia, it's all based on the advertisers. That's why if you watch Jeopardy, they're always like sponsored by Geico, sponsored by Elite. So the trivia ones, they can't necessarily figure out based on statistics because it's based off the person's brain.
Yeah. Now, so with go through the game shows and tell us how much you won. And
what was your first game show?
So I was on Let's Make a Deal. I don't know if this is chronologically in order, but I was on Let's Make a Deal, and I got selected, but I didn't win. I got a zonk. I got one of those, like, goof prizes.
Oh, that's even better. I'm a big fan of the zonk. So what did you dress up as to be on Let's Make a Deal?
I was a cactus, because I'd never seen a cactus on there, so I just got a cactus costume. And so they
he's a genius. That is the way to get on the show, is to wear something that they haven't had before.
Yeah.
Now, I would have never thought of cactus, and maybe I was a little loose with the term genius.
So then also too with that show, when they did it in person, people who would show up and they needed seat fillers, because sometimes they don't get a full cast there, they actually have a costume shop right next to it. So any person that just wants to be on the show can just go buy a costume and immediately get on there.
That is...
Oh, I'd love to interview the person that owns the costume shop.
Now that's a genius. That's a genius.
That sells a bunch of costumes.
Dude, we can call that place.
Well,
they still do that show.
They do?
Yeah. I mean, now it's virtual, though. I guess you dress up at home and you zoom in.
So
can we kill the Zoom audiences except for WWE, please?
So, Kenny, what was your Zoink prize for Let's Make a Deal? Because and do you have the option to take it home?
See, that's what I wanted. It was a hot tub full of chocolate pudding. And I was
that's fantastic.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. I mean, it was a crappy looking hot tub. But still, I was like, so can I take that with me? But like you're with all the paperwork that you have to sign, you're known that a zonk prize or whatever is meaningless. Like that just means you're a loser.
So you can't dig your feet in and say like, okay, you guys, I want my hot tub. Put the pudding in bags and then wash out the hot tub. I'll rent a truck.
A lot of it has. No, unfortunately you can't. But a lot of it's changed. So the shows that are in LA, and I've been out to LA for a couple of tapings and stuff. If you win an actual prize and not money, you're responsible for getting it home. So they'll, like, if it's a car or a washer, dryer, whatever, they'll give it to you, but they'll give it to you in LA. You have to take it home with you. You have to pay that cost.
Yeah.
So there are people that hang out, like the Price is Right is a huge one. I was in the audience for Price is Right, but never got called up. But after the tapings, there are dozens of people that hang out outside the studios that will give you cash for whatever you
buy
want.
They're prize pigs.
Have to deal
Yes, I've heard this. They're prize pig. My buddy Dave told me about this. He says they camp out and wait till the end of the tapings, and it's not just Price is Right. Kenny's right, but Dave talks about this. They're prize pigs, and they sit out there with money, and they're let's say you've got a brand new Samsung washer dryer.
Yeah.
They'll give you like 65 for it.
Yeah,
I mean 65%. what it's worth.
Yeah. Because they'd rather than you take. Yeah, you drove in their car. You're like, well, I have to rent a car
you
to
may
get
be
this
visiting, and they love the people that are from out of state that are visiting, and being on the show was like their dream because they're not gonna. You're out there for 3 weeks. The third day you're on Let's Make a Deal, and you're gonna take your washer dryer back to the hotel.
How is it that they never got a system where like Samsung just gave you a voucher to go pick up the washer and dryer at Sears instead of them actually delivering the Samsung?
That's a good idea. You should start a business.
No, but I'm just saying, like, they deliver.
That would actually make sense.
Of course, they just deliver a heavy ass washer and dryer to the studio to what? Put in the back. I imagine all that studio space is valuable, so you put it in the back of the Price is Right studio, and then you're like, here you go,
but
Bob.
I think it has changed. I don't think all of them are like that.
Of course, it can't be that anymore. But even in the 80s, like, couldn't you do a voucher?
No, this was the 90s, I think.
Or 90. Anyway, all right. So, what about?
So I was also on a show on it's like a game show network. I something like Code Words or Code Names or whatever, and I won a round trip flight to Toronto. But it flew out of L.A., and I've lived in Orlando almost my entire life, so in order to get it, I had to pay for a round-trip flight to L.A. in order to get the free flight from L.A. to Toronto.
Okay, and then it was
interesting.
And by the way, a flight from L.A. to Toronto, I imagine, is not that expensive, because it's just...
What is that, 2 hours?
It included the hotel and all that stuff, so it was like a travel package. But yeah, in order for me to capture that, I'd have to pay for my own way.
And you have to pay the taxes on the value of
Correct.
The thing, right?
Correct, yeah. And it's roughly, because we live in Florida, thankfully, even though you win it in L.A., you're able to claim it as income in Florida, depending on what it is. So you don't have to pay an extra state income tax, but federally it's about 45 to 55%, depending on the value of it. So, yeah, everyone says, oh, you just take half off the top. And I know people complain about that, but I'm like, okay, it's still free money and free gifts. Like, what do I care?
Yeah. I guess it's just the fact that you're like, well, now I got a free trip to Toronto, but I got a round trip ticket from Orlando to LA, and then I have to pay 50% of the value or claim it as income. And then they're like, well, that is not necessarily like you want the you want the prize to be like, here, get this limo, and you drive, and there's like they give you here's your food, and like no money comes out of your pocket. But
I don't want to see any of the warts and all. Like even the paperwork kind of kills it, right? Like afterwards, if you have 2 more hours worth of paperwork after you won the Showcase Showdown, that kind of kills it, right?
Well,
at that point, you're like in a timeshare.
Yeah. And so, depending on the game show, sometimes you fill it out beforehand. So, like, the match game is the one that I actually called about on Left a Voicemail. I filled out so much paperwork beforehand, and I didn't even know if I was going to be on the show. That one is just cash prize. So, I was on there, and the match game is the old 70s game where there's, like, 6 celebrities, and you have to, like, match wacky answers.
So, who were your celebrities?
So, I had Horatio Sands.
Nice.
Jane...
Wait, you had skinny.
He was amazing.
You had skinny Horatio. Yeah. Healthy. I should say healthy.
Yeah,
Horatio.
Exactly. I had Jane Krakowski from 30 Rock.
Yeah.
I had
she's beautiful.
Michael Che from Saturday Night Live.
These are great.
And Chris D'Elia was on there.
Oh,
and then
no.
I had Sherry Shepard.
Yeah. Oh, you had everybody was good except for one problematic guy.
Well, okay. So at the time, he was the quote-unquote funny one, and he's the one that they have to bleep out, and of course that's what makes it funny.
When was this, Kenny? Like how long ago?
This was the summer of 2019, and they had told me, hey, it's going to air the summer of 2020. And so I'm like, okay, cool, that's fine. And then my whole gimmick, like I said before, is like, oh, I'm obsessed with my dog, and if I win, I'm going to clone him, just really dumb stuff like that. So they did this bit, and I was fortunate enough, and I'll spoil it all now, but like I made it to the final round. And they said, hey, I know you want to clone your dog, but here's the next best thing. And Horatio Sands comes out with a stuffed animal that looks like my dog, and then I'm running all around the studio, and we're getting, the audience to chant my dog's name. So Chris just stands up and goes, hey, guys, what the F is going on? And, like, just bleeps that out. And, of course, hilarity, laugh, laugh, laugh.
Yeah.
So come to find out, ever since the whole, Chris's underage texting, I got word that, hey, ABC has no interest in showing any episodes with him in it. So my episode will pretty much never air. They still have it back-pocketed, but, it's never going to air.
Man.
So he's a piece of crap. I lost my 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
man.
sucks.
And you got to have like a focused, like featured moment with Horatio Sands. Like you were like,
You're running around. You would have been the dog guy.
yeah. Everybody for like at least a week. Everybody's like, "Hey, you're the Horatio Sands dog guy."
Yeah. Then we could have claimed that who writes our Weird Job Wednesday songs? Kenny the Dog Man. Then
we could call him that. Kenny the dog. We could call him Dog Man.
Well,
Kenny.
no, it doesn't make sense now because no one saw it.
We could call you Dog the Sadness Hunter.
What about Kenny?
But here's the crazy part. So
Hmm.
when you fill out that paperwork,
Kenny ever be on a real game show that gets aired?
oh, well, now I'm just sad.
Kenny D'Elia. It's Kenny.
Kenny.
Kenny is like D'Elia a little bit.
D'Elia.
I don't know. I have to work that out.
Yeah. We're just going to, whenever you call from now on, we're just going to start calling you Chris D'Elia.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Because then all our listeners remember, oh, yeah, he's the one who's on the game show.
That's
but Chris
not really
D'Elia,
Chris D'Elia. It's
Yeah.
Dog. It's
But
Dog
Chris
Game Show
D'Elia
Kenny.
screwed it up because of the rape and all that. So
Hey, do I have to
why'd
put,
you bring it up,
Do I have
Kenny?
to put Chris D'Elia on our war list now? Who do we have so far, the people we're warring against?
I don't know. I don't even
It
know.
used to be the band Boston.
So many people do horrible things. I don't even remember what he did.
Yeah.
But it's horrible, I imagine.
No, he was texting underage girls.
Oh, yeah, horrible.
It was pretty bad.
So, all right, Kenny. What about? I want to know about Jeopardy. Did you win any? If any of these game shows was the only prize out of all of them was the cheapo trip from LA to Toronto?
No, so I will say the match game. I did win money, but the whole thing was you get the money after the episode airs because they want to make sure that I'm not a criminal and I didn't, because ever since the whole dating game.
Wait a minute, that's not fair. They're not going to air it. Where's your prize?
Well, so ever since they told me we're not going to air it, they mailed me the check. So I got a gross, stupid, large check in the mail that was under my name. Spoiler alert, I still got the money, even though they're not going to air the episode.
Wow,
Oh,
no,
that's even better.
Hold on, how much of money?
It was just $25,000. It was that reasonable.
$25,000. That's a lot of dough.
Yeah, that's pretty
It's
good.
just $25,000. No big deal. I've never physically seen $25,000.
It was just weird and it was in an unmarked piece of mail. So I'm just thinking, oh, okay, it's just junk. Thank God I didn't throw it away because that's the only verification they had. They didn't email me saying they're sending it out. They didn't do anything like that. They just sent it to me, and I just opened it up, and it's a check under my name with the production company's name on it. And I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, was it a weird? It's like with the production company because you never. It's not like anything with Let's Make a Deal.
It's Sad Greedy Productions.
It's just the production company.
Yeah.
It's something like Triple Play Productions or something. Generic like that.
Well, that's a great story, buddy. It finally won with a happy ending. I'm glad you got the cash.
Yeah, and technically now you didn't get your 15 minutes of fame, but what you described is kind of embarrassing. Like I would, clown you a little bit, Kenny, because I'm sure you played it. You're running around the stage.
Well, but every morning he should wake up and he should tweet Chris D'Elia to see if he remembers you.
Yeah. So with all the Jeopardy game shows, you didn't win any money with those?
I didn't get on there. I was one of those where so anytime you go to a game show, there isn't a guarantee you'll actually be on the game show. So there's a lot of, for Jeopardy and Sports Jeopardy, I was literally just sitting backstage, and then depending on shoot schedule or contestant schedule, sometimes you just don't get picked, and they said, hey, sorry, you're not going to be a contestant. But they do fly you out, though. So if it is a location-based one, they will fly you out. They will put you up in a hotel, and you get like a per diem for your meals and stuff. But then the day of, you're just sitting backstage. They feed you. They put you in makeup and outfits. But if you don't get selected, it's like, well, see ya.
That's not bad. I could do that.
Kenny, last question. With someone that's good at trivia, and I've always wondered this, and there's maybe no way for you to describe it.
I don't think I've ever seen you do trivia.
No, I'm horrible at it.
You have a good memory.
No, not when it comes to trivia and things like that. I didn't even know the whole Kirk Cobain thing that I throw out things that don't mean anything to me. Anyway, so Kenny, when someone asks you a trivia question, is it instant that you know, or do you have to think about it? In which I imagine it's like you're opening up drawers in your brain that categorize things and you find the answer, or does it come to you instantly? Because those people that I know that are good at trivia, it's fascinating to me that they are able to retain this information, because my brain doesn't work that way. You ask me something, I'm like, I'm opening drawers, but there's nothing inside.
A lot of drawers too.
And I know that it's never there.
So normally it is the open drawer scenario, but because I try to get on Jeopardy for so long, it has to be an instant thing, because the reason that these people are winning, it's not because they know the answers, it's their recall is faster than the other person.
That makes sense.
So that's really the secret. They all know the answer. It's just who can recall it and buzz in the fastest. So now when it comes to trivia, if I know it, it's got to be an immediate thing for me.
Do you train for that, or do you just have some sort of genetic brain gift?
It's a little bit of both. You can't really train for it other than just watching Jeopardy and then trying to beat them with the answers. So, like, if you're just watching an episode and playing along as if you're a contestant, that's really the only training you can do. It's either you know the answer or you don't know the answer.
Huh. It's always, like, I know people that watch Jeopardy that literally know 90% of all the questions, and I'm like, how is that possible? It seems so incredibly hard to me. I think most people are lucky if they know one answer, and it's usually the pop culture category that all the nerds don't know. Well, Kenny, thank you for calling in and telling your story. It's fascinating. We should... you want to do a bit or something? What do you? You're good,
what do you
good
want to do?
On the air.
Yeah, sure.
What do you want to do?
What do you want to do for your bit?
What do you do for a living, Kenny? You got a lot of free time?
Yes. Well, I used to work for a professional sports team, and then that whole not having audience and fans, that kind of got me fired.
Yeah.
So now I do entertainment stuff. So I'm more of the behind the scenes entertainment guy now.
Kenny used to be OJ and sell peanuts at the Amway.
Oh, I think you told me about that.
Yeah.
All right, Kenny, we'll keep in touch because I feel like we could do something with you because you're good on the air.
Yeah, we'll put you in makeup. We'll get you an outfit. We'll put you backstage, and if you get selected, great. And if not, sorry.
Just hang out with the fish, and then it's like, oh, sorry, we ran out of time.
It might be nice to start filling our studio, just listeners, that if we need an able body, I'm like, get in here.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you got bumped again for Seth or Big Dem or
Ross.
Yeah. All right, Kenny.
Butler's French Dijon story again.
Uncle Dijon. Yeah, the stories are getting crazier and crazier.
Man.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Well, so
no, you're done. You're done. I'm hung up on you.
Oh, how dare you?
Well, once I say you're done, you're done. And it's just like parenting. You gotta, you cannot let these listeners run you over.
Yeah,
or they'll never respect you.
Yeah.
I said you were done, and you're like, no. What did I say?
Yeah.
What did I say, Kenny?
Yeah, you wanted
Kenny,
a little
what
bit
did
more.
I say? Did I say you were done? I did, didn't I? You're done.
You're right. I got to get better at that. I just let them run me over.
Yeah.
Or that there we go.
Next thing you know, this guy's sitting in your seat. I come in here, and I'm like, who are you? And he's like, I'm Kenny. I told Tommy to stay home. He's not needed here anymore.
Then they work here, stepping in doo-doo. The whole thing.
Oh, I did. I heard about that. It smells in here. Bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
Tom.
Voicemails are important. They're not really, but we're going to do them. And if you have a voicemail message that you would like to drop smack dab in our laps, you can do so with our app. Totally free. All of our content's on there. Or you can call 1-844-TOM, the letter N-D-A-N. That's 1-844-TOM-N-DAN, and leave a message that way like this person. Willpower.
Listening to NPR the other day, I heard a story about exercising willpower and how it gets stronger with time. That's why it's easier for an alcoholic to be 10 years sober than 2 weeks sober. And how come on NPR you can hear everybody breathe like that? It's so frustrating.
It's kind of like their radio style, right? Like NPR is, they don't overproduce it. They don't put a ton of... they try to use music that I think appeals to everybody.
Yeah.
Jazz, world music, stuff like that.
I think their mics are probably super hot because they are talking very calmly.
We can do it. Here, hold on.
Yeah,
turn your mic on.
Turn it way up. Because
turn it all the way
we're
up.
screaming normally, so you won't hear our breath.
And we're back. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. My name is Daniel Dennis.
I'm Thomas Van, and thank you very much for joining us today. And on today's show, we're going to be exploring some of the most popular gambling trends out there, including teasing games up past key numbers, which is a... See...
That's kind of fun. I like that. So my job is just to breathe. My job was just to breathe.
Also, for whatever reason, when I talk like that, I have no idea where I'm going. Well, normally,
it's
I
easier
can do
to scream than it is to talk normal.
Yeah. I've been screaming for so many years that if I talk normally, I totally lose cognitive ability where I can't even figure out where I'm even going with the sentence. Weird.
Yeah, it is weird. It's absolutely weird.
But that's why.
That's their style. And then what was his other question?
He was just telling us about willpower, talking about, that definitely makes sense that because remember in the Friday Free Show, last Friday Free Show, I was asking Seth, how do you build willpower or whatever, or how do you strengthen your willpower?
It's funny. We got a ton of email about that.
Oh, really?
Must have been like the perfect storm, beginning of the year, resolutions, willpower. We got a lot of email about that.
And and it makes total sense. The longer you do something, the more steadfast you are. Obviously, sure. You wake up at 6 a.m. and jog every morning. You do that for 4 months, and it gets real easy. It's hard pushing past the first month of it. But my whole thing is, it seems to me most people can't even get 2 weeks into it and quit everything. That's the American way or whatever. Most humans are going to.
I don't think that's just us. I think globally.
Yeah. Like I was say, it's the globally. Yeah, you start something, you have a hard time finishing it and making it a routine and stuff. And for me, I was saying how do you forget starting something hard? How do you even build your willpower to get to the point where you could start something and keep going with it?
Right.
Do
you have anything that you think you naturally have willpower for?
Yeah, eating the same thing every day.
Yeah, you're good at that. Yeah.
And it's something where I don't want to do it really, but...
You don't overthink it, though. You don't get down in the mouth about it. You don't get sad about it. Your attitude is neither good nor negative. It's literally just, it's almost like...
Down the middle,
It's great. It's almost like a nothing. It's literally I just need that food.
Although,
here I go.
What is bad with it is it's costing too much money, and that's where I don't have the willpower to make my own.
Because it's pre-made. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because those things I buy at Publix
like $8.
Yeah, it's too expensive for just a couple pieces of chicken and rice, and a lot of times I punt the rice in the trash. I could get chop up a couple pieces of grilled chicken, put it in some rice, and bring it in a Tupperware every day.
That's what Butler does.
And save
but
myself $8.
But I will say yours smells a lot better than his on a consistent basis.
He has some sort of brown stew lately.
I think his wife, she just cleans out the...
One time he had a hot dog stew. I'm like, is that healthy, hot dog stew?
I mean, he claims that she's always got him on these detoxes and stuff.
Butler, get in here.
One time he had what appeared to be Heinz canned gravy with hot dogs floating in it.
And it all
And I'm
stinks.
like, that is not healthy.
So let me get this straight. So your wife every day is just making your lunch.
Is it night before or morning of?
Well, I'm sorry.
You're good.
It all depends. If it's going to be like a stew, we kind of cook that early in the week, and we have that for the next 4 days.
Oh, the whole week you eat stew all week.
4 days.
4 days of stew? Are you kidding me?
That's my new festival name.
Oh my God, that's the worst Zooey Deschanel movie ever made. Is 4 days of stew.
So,
dude,
really?
Why
is she making?
Is
the
she
stew?
eating the stew too? Because she does not look like a stew consumer.
Oh, she took the stew to work.
No,
I told her, I put my foot down. I was like, I'm not taking stew today, and she's like, I'll take the jar.
She puts it in a mason jar.
She's the breadwinner here. She's the doctor.
Yeah.
She's got a huge
professional
fancy
heart player
facility
and,
that she bought herself. We're renting this joint.
Yeah. She bought the whole damn thing.
Leaks in the walls. So
I couldn't afford this. And first thing I do is kick out the people that live above us.
So she's
homeless.
She's the breadwinner and making.
No, she's the stew winner.
The everyday stew for you.
Wait, don't say everyday stew for you because that is another show and we will be sued.
Hold on.
Hi, I'm Stu and welcome to Everyday Stew for You.
But she forces you to take it and eat it, right? So, okay. So it's a little bit of like...
She doesn't listen, right?
I'm going to tell you, hell no.
Two out of four are punted in our trash can.
Yeah, listen.
Don't talk about it.
2 out of 4.
If healthy doctors, I don't know if that's our demographic. It's more. Okay, if there's a healthy doctor, if you're on the spectrum,
Well, he's listening to NPR.
Where does 2 steps above Juggalo? Anyway, so she forces you. Okay, so
you have like rice. Usually you have like some sort of green or red peppers on the bottom, then some rice, then some Brussels,
and then some sort of protein.
Then some sort of protein meat, and then and it's always in a glass.
Yeah,
sealable,
Now I'm not
Tupperware.
gonna because I just eat some garbage that tastes. It's fine. They do a good job, but
and some
eating
days
it every
I eat
day,
healthy,
I hate
and
it.
some days I eat normal. Normally I eat a turkey, like a boar's head, pub sub turkey sandwich plain, and it's not healthy, and it's not. I guess it's it's not healthy.
You know what's helping?
It's not terrible, but it's not healthy.
It helps you by not liking joy in life.
Yeah, so you're good at this. If somebody were to walk, if
miserable.
Juan, tomorrow,
Juan
Juan is
enjoys
bringing
life.
us. He's bringing us some pizza, and he used. I think it's called biga is the technique that he uses. This is something I've been studying too because I like to make my own pizza dough. And this is an 18-hour biga, which means he made it's a fermentation process for dough.
Yeah.
He let it poof for 18 hours. Then he took it out, put it in the pan, and gently kneaded it in the pan. And he's going to let that go like another 18. And then he's going to bake that with all the goodness in it and bring it in for us to eat.
Yeah. Well, he's experiencing
And if
joy.
he were to walk in right now, I would cry pure tears of joy of happiness.
Yeah.
But you don't like that. Like you've never.
I can't.
Except for one time. One time he made steaks with his immersion cooker, the sous vide style, that technique. And you talked about that. You were like poofed up.
Yeah,
the only
that was like
time
once in a blue moon.
Only time I've ever heard him like happy about food. You just don't get happy about food.
Well, yeah. I guess if listen. My diet isn't super clean by any means. On the weekends, I'm bad. I just don't drink White Claw every day. There's lots of things. I got at least Monday through Friday the breakfast and lunch. Mummy bones and the chicken rice.
Do you get excited if you have a White Claw? Like, I'm trying to find something you put in your body. Like, if you hadn't had a White Claw, and let's say you made a rule that you're not going to have any alcohol before 8?
Yeah.
Okay, which I think that's just why would you do that? That's like saying I'm gonna dunk a basketball this year. It's like it's really 8.
Yeah.
It's so late.
Yeah, but
your body's gonna have to process that all night. No wonder you're tired. You're gonna sleep worse because you're drinking later.
Yeah.
Belly full of claw.
That's the worst way to sleep on alcohol.
I'm
man.
burping it up as you're asleep.
Well, no, you're asleep and you're literally not really asleep.
Yeah, would I have to go to? It's like
you got
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sleep.
You got to start drinking. You got to start drinking your White Claws as soon as the day ends here. 3:30 White Claw.
I did that.
Then workout, then White Claw.
Man, there was a sweet time I remember back. Big Fat Tom. I
was looking at a picture.
I was eating.
Man, we were both really. Especially me.
Y'all both got chungus at one point.
Yeah. There's one. I was peak chungus. I was like, whoa.
Peak chungus with the doofus is the best.
Well, that is the one thing I never had. I never had the haircut to match.
Yeah.
I didn't collect all 2. I got the weight though in round beach ball. I'm still working that on.
I was eating full long Italian sub for breakfast.
With your Dijonnaise on it too.
Oh,
like 900 calories.
I eat it in my truck in the Publix parking lot. Shame eat it full on. then come here a bunch of Matooks, which rotted out my belly. Obviously, I'm sorry, Matooks. You have a good product, but
you can eat it
I
now
abused it.
in moderation.
You did.
Well,
you put a quarter of a bottle.
Yeah.
It's a paste almost too.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be consumed like a Gatorade.
I'm an addict. Matooks, whatever you give me. And then I'd go home and then start playing with my sons. Immediately hit the White Claw.
That's the best.
Yeah. So I was like,
you just gotta stop. You gotta stop at like 5.
Yeah, but I can't stop.
I know.
Can't stop.
Well, neither can I.
Yeah. Like, I was
That's
loaded
why
by
I pass out at like 5. It's like,
7:30.
I got a
No.
great night's sleep.
Yeah. But I could, the crow,
The-
he
yeah.
yells at
Yeah,
me, so
yeah.
I have to pretend. So then I get to.
What do I have? The dove? Like, what?
You got the angel. You can do whatever you want, no repercussions.
Bird of paradise.
Anyway,
It's not true. I do have. I have repercussions. They're just. You just
Yeah.
don't see them as they're not loud repercussions. They're
But-
silent, sad repercussions.
You got American repercussions. I got Singapore repercussions. like
you're
I'm
getting
spitting
caned
my
a few
gum
times.
on the street, and then
Yeah,
I
you get your hands chopped off.
Yeah, you could do murder and do 5 years.
I could
of
shoot
good-
somebody in the
good-
street, and she'd still vote for me.
Yeah,
That is true.
I mean, we've got some.
She loves me that much.
People have done horrible things, barely do any time at all.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I feel you. I understand what
So,
you're saying.
Butler, with the, you love candy, so you're a dichotomy in the fact that
He has to hide all of his snacks.
yeah, but you
I've cut out candy in 2021, man.
yeah, but
All
I've
of
seen you do
it.
this
I
before.
feel like this is an EJ scenario.
It is an EJ scenario,
Whenever
but as of right now,
You know,
I am
but
hard
I know, like
put.
you made
Not gonna do
two
it.
declarative statements when we saw you for the new year. One was no candy, and the other was no pot. And I was like, well, you might as well just go kill yourself.
Well, I said
because
that-
I can't see that happening.
I said it wasn't going to inhale. I already ate some edibles.
Oh, okay.
I got a story about that for tomorrow.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
And I've seen this no weed thing. I think you've been here for 8 years now.
Yeah. Even Snoop Dogg goes through those phases. Oh, no weed.
Every
you
year
know?
it's like no more weed, and
Yeah.
then it's like, and then I
Next
see.
thing you know is it's Snoop Butler comes or Butler Lion.
And I will say that I'm surprised you get through like a month and it
Mm-hmm.
seems pretty easy. And then I see there's like, hey,
Anybody want it from somebody here?
what if I borrow some from you? That's kind of not. I didn't buy
not
it.
my weed.
Yeah, you start justifying it. And then I'm buying it for you. Like, what the heck? Go buy your damn.
Oh, that's when you let your card lapse. Or
you're
is your card
tricking-
lapsed now?
No,
This-
it will lapse. So.
It will lapse?
This is the girl in high school doing A so that she can still be a virgin.
This is A to protect B. Yeah.
Yeah, what are you doing? That's worse than the.
Yeah, he's saying his card is going to lapse, full knowing he's going to re-get his card. It'd be better just to not let it lapse.
Yeah. And this is, if you're getting it from any other person, it's the same thing. It's
Or you're just going through the motions in order to please your crow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, there you go.
We're all pleasing the crow.
I think at the end of the day, there is a lot of truth to the fact that we are just trying to please our spouse. I'm not drinking right now for that reason, so you can lump me right in there. Same damn thing.
See, I get right to the edge before I get any ultimatums put on me. So
You get the I want a divorce, and then you're like, oh, hold on a second, let's all be cool.
Put down my White Claw.
Yeah.
It
was a White Claw 70.
I'm able to bribe the judges by like, let me make you a drink too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I didn't have like I get the crow
It is a lot
loaded.
easier,
Then she ain't gonna
if you get
be.
the- yeah.
I'm getting a little loaded too. We're both
Let's
loaded.
just happen. If you're going to buy some White Claw, you get your crow, some Crow Select.
Yeah.
And she's right there with you. I don't have that
I need
luxury.
yeah.
My nerd, my wife's such a nerd, she doesn't do anything.
Yeah, but she's easier on you, so that I don't know who's got it better.
I've been microdosing her with ecstasy every
okay, all right.
every night.
I
I put a little bit.
Can you microdose ecstasy?
I don't know. I would
feel-
imagine
well,
you can
like
microdose anything, right?
MDMA, right? That's
Yeah.
GHB,
So-
MDMA, all that
So
stuff.
they do it already.
I think you can microdose anything if you can.
Of course, yeah.
If you can make the dose small enough.
You're right. But
I mean, we microdose facts on the show.
so can you get on like the black market or whatever on the streets a microdose of MDMA? They're kind of the same. Do they give you a microdose when they do like the?
No, you're just cutting your pill into quarters like a crackhead.
Okay, well, the PTSD therapy that like
Ketamine and stuff like that.
therapists do, they're using a pharmaceutical microdose of MDMA, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
We do have to take a break, so let's take a quick one. We'll come right back with more A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan.
Welcome back to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan, Sam, and Butler, the fish, TomandDan.com. And for all videos, search on YouTube, Tom and Dan Live, or on Twitch, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live.
So, on the line with us right now to talk about some products. I've also got some questions for them.
Oh,
whoa. We have
why are you scaring them right off the bat?
Jackie and Deborah from Fairville and Megastore. How you guys doing?
Wonderful. Doing great. How are y'all?
Really good. Yeah. Happy New Year, everybody, and very, very good to talk to you. Now, I'm probably as scared as you are. Tom, I guess we should start with questions. You normally don't have questions. You normally shy away from questions.
Well,
we have our spicier guests on.
Yeah. I feel like I'd like to get better at
which
anything Fairvilla related.
Okay.
I could easily say that. People know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
We've talked about this before. I feel like I don't think about getting better at that, but I do think about getting better at every other aspect of my life.
Namely gambling.
Or anything. And I'm just like, I think everybody looks at all these things and they have New Year's resolutions and they're like, I want to get better at exercise.
I think you nailed something that
reading.
I bet our friends from Fairvilla would say gets neglected a lot, because I don't think I've ever heard, other than maybe right now, anybody ever tell me that they wanted to get better at sex.
Yeah.
So I applaud your bravery, sir. You're a hero for even saying that, because I think it takes some nuts to even say you want to get better, because in doing so, you're admitting you may not be that great.
Yeah. And there's really, I don't know if anybody really knows. Okay, let's look at it like this. So I feel like if you ask the average person on the street, like, how good are you at basketball, right? And then they're going to get from 1 to 10, and I think they can give you an accurate gauge about their basketball level skill.
I could give you mine.
Okay,
3.
3. Okay, 10 being the best.
Yeah, I can shoot, but just based on my height, I can't dribble through my legs because my legs are not very big.
Yeah.
And I can shoot okay, just because I'm not sports inept, but I'm not that good.
Yeah, I feel like if a 1 is I can't even shoot the basketball, then a 3, I feel like that's an accurate gauge.
Pretty fair.
And I feel like most people could give you a 1 to 10 spectrum and hit it pretty close, within 2 points, I feel. And then if you ask the same question about sex, first, I feel like it's going to be inflated big time towards number 10, right? Because I think people think they're better.
You got to be honest.
Yeah,
you want me to be honest?
But even honesty, I think people honestly believe they're better than they are.
Oh, yeah.
Even though which is weird because they watch videos and they're like watching, for lack of a better term, the Michael Jordan of sex, so having sex on camera.
Yes.
Got people that are professionals, and then for whatever reason you think you look like that doing that, even or like you're doing the same thing, and I don't think it's close.
So are we? Do you guys hear any of that? Have you guys ever heard anybody? Yeah. Okay. So please.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. People watch porn, and it's like the Sex Olympics. And you think you should be able to do all of that, like, instantly. You're comparing yourself to something that's not necessarily realistic. But look, sex comes down to primarily communication, but there are absolutely ideas, hints, skills, things that you can learn about, talk about. And that's really one of the reasons why we developed Fairville University. And, of course, I'll let Jackie talk a little bit more about that. But that was one of my topics for today, was just to talk about New Year, new way to connect, a great gift for yourself or for your partner, for the both of you, would be coming to some of our classes, because it allows you a really comfortable space. You're anonymous, where you can learn, you can interact, you can ask questions, where you might not always feel the same, if you were face-to-face with your doctor or even with your partner, you don't know where to start the conversation. And these classes let you do that.
It is funny to me that someone would ask their general physician sex questions.
Well, I've asked about I made no bones about the fact that I'm on some anxiety medication, and with said anxiety medication can come side effects of erectile dysfunction or decreased urine flow. These kind of things. So, yeah, I've actually asked my doctor these questions before.
But it's too clinical. He's not telling you. He's just telling you how to how to start the car, not what to do once it started. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
They teach you about the science and not the art.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
And so now this leads me into, all right, I know there's Fairville University and there's certain techniques, there's things to do, but then there's other stuff on top of techniques and just if you're a person to person, then there comes toys, there comes things to help better position wedges, and there's all this extraordinary stuff that helps. I feel like the people that need help, and that it's like giving you a cheat mechanism.
Let me ask you this: what do you want to get better at? Baby steps. Let's start. Do you want to get better at? And I can put this clinically, so Deborah and Jackie will know what I mean. Do you want to get better at the foreplay aspect of sex, or do you want to get better at the actual act of coitus?
I want to get to the point where my wife is bragging to other wives, like Daniel's wife or anybody
My wife
else.
doesn't brag.
No. My wife's bragging to your wife about how good I am. I want to get to the point where Crystal will be
she's walking funny around with partners. She's like, he was really drilling me last night. It's so hard for me to be a part of the Bartmerick team.
No, I was just saying that. Don't say that.
Ice myself down.
I should not say this.
On her finish line.
You want
to focus on her end.
Yeah. But even beyond that, because I feel like...
So you're just worried about what other people think.
That's the part she's going to brag about. If you can make her finish multiple times, that's the part she's going to brag about.
Multiple?
My God.
I didn't even know that was possible.
I don't know if you've ever heard this, but in order to open up a car lot, you needed one car.
Multiple cars. That's a dream.
I mean, one car's a driveway.
I'm just trying to get...
I don't necessarily mean multiple at the same time. I mean like multiple over the course of a week, or not just one.
And
okay, I see where you're going now.
Yeah. Now, I guess though that's not the only objective, right? Because and we're on the radio, so it's harder. But the getting to that, there is the finish line that I think you. I feel like
how often do you get to the finish, or do you get your wife to the finish?
Okay, well now we're getting too much. I'm now embarrassing, but you don't want me to talk about it.
Then I'll say me. I make sure, and one of the things I pride myself on is that every single race that is run in the Dennis household, she's crossing the line.
Every race?
Every race. She's crossing the line. And if I don't cross my line because my drugs are getting in the way, then so be it. Okay. I'll go run a race in the closet by myself.
All right.
You're a good man.
But that's not the only part of it, because I feel like you could cross the finish line and put on an unbelievable race.
You can.
That
a spectacle.
Yeah, that is so entertaining that you talk to your friends about it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to get to that point.
I love the positivity and he's never been this positive, guys.
Yeah, I know. I'm really actually so encouraged by this.
I know. Do you hear how Deborah is so sweet and so nice, and you've actually inspired her. Because every time she comes in here, we're such horrible people. All right. I like it. I like this new direction. 2021 is looking up.
Yeah. This is the best news I've had all week.
Well, I subscribe to Fairville University. I will get Tom to subscribe. And then that way, when you guys release new videos, you get an alert on your phone and you know when they release new stuff.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And, I think... make each, if you can make the experience memorable and make it, I like what you were saying, Daniel. Whenever there's going to be a race, you're really focusing on your partner and getting them into the experience and into the mood. Try some new things, try some new techniques, making sure that communication is open. We go do a trip to Fairville together and make it a date night and come in and talk to our teams or see what is interesting to both of you and experiment a little bit. But, it's taking your time, trying not to run that race too fast, making sure that each person is in the mood and getting them and having fun, getting in the moment and having fun. And sometimes that's hard when you have kids and you've been working all day. So it's setting aside some time that you can set that scene and make that mood. And those are some of the things we talk about in our classes too.
Now, Jackie, Deborah, I have often wondered, because I think with all of this subject, there's it's cloaked in mystery because people aren't open about it. And
certainly not Americans.
No, and I mean, even me, I get embarrassed, and I talk a big game on the show, but I get really embarrassed. That's
you talk a big game, dude. You know my wife, and you know how I actually am. And so do the ladies from Fairville. They see right through me.
That's why I love the fact that the Fairville University is virtual now. I can go in there and watch without having to show up, because that's why I get embarrassed. I show up in person to person talking.
Nobody knows. It's easy breezy. And in fact, like I said, you just sign up, subscribe, and they just come right to your phone. You don't have to go anywhere.
So I've heard in the past, you guys are familiar with John Mayer, correct?
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Okay. Well, that's
you just blew Deborah's out of her desk chair.
His reputation, even his reputation is.
That guy knows.
So okay, what does he know?
I feel like he's the dean of Fairville University or something. Like he's on staff. I feel like he's somewhere.
Let me tell you, if I've had a long day or when my husband's trying to set the mood and I come home, he's doing dinner, and what does he have on the music playing in the house? John Mayer.
Okay, all right. Even his music makes you horny, my God.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to say is that John Mayer has been notorious for dating like all the A-list women in Hollywood.
He called Jessica Simpson sexual napalm.
I think she called him that.
Oh, well, whatever it is, it was explosive.
Yeah. So there's he's been with all these beautiful women of Hollywood, like A-list stars, right? I mean, it runs the gamut. It's unbelievable. We've gone over the amount of stars he's been with.
I mean, his resume
crazy.
is disgusting.
So, and then over and over, these women have described him as being like some sort of sexual dynamo. And I'm like, well, what is he doing? What is it? Like, I don't even understand.
He wrote a song saying, "Your body is a wonderland."
Okay, well, hold on. Well, hold on. Is it just a song? Is it just like, okay, this guy's a good acoustic guitar player and singer? And then
I wrote a song for my wife called "Your Body Is a Go-Kart Track," and it didn't go as well. It was a rap.
So, but I'm wondering, like, what is he doing in bed?
He's doing it all.
What is it all?
He's going up and he's going down, side to side.
Yeah, everybody does that.
He's licking that. He's licking this.
Yeah, everybody does everything. Yeah.
It's into that and out of that.
Yeah, but I feel like everybody's doing all that.
No,
how
you're
could how could he be doing it so good?
Thomas Chisholm Van, do you mean to tell me that the last time you made love to your wife, you did everything?
No, but she don't want everything.
Okay.
So that's the thing. So it wouldn't even. She wouldn't just. But I feel like if she made love to John Mayer,
she'd want everything.
Then she won't know. Like she would be like, "Wow, something
bigger
happened."
menu.
Oh, was it in size?
I think John Mayer is like a Cheesecake Factory size menu. I mean, he's got everything.
Is it just size?
He's got spicy pasta. He's got burgers. He's got cheesecake. He's got fondue, for Christ's sake. He's got everything on there.
Well, then why doesn't why is the narrative that the guy just has a big old donger?
Well, he's got that too.
Okay. So, but it's that and what he knows how to do.
You can tell he's got that because he's skinny and white, and skinny white guys have the long D's.
So, is it possible, Jackie and Deborah, to learn what he's doing that I can emulate that? I just need
You'd have to job shadow.
Thank you.
Jackie, I think we need to invite him on a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not really about emulating somebody else. Like the song, "Your Body is a Wonderland." And to me, that intimates that he is exploring her body. Like it's like this: pretend you're on a trip, you're on an adventure, and you're discovering something new. Treat the person's body that you're dealing with like that. Like pretend it's the first time that you're making love to your wife, and figure out like the things exactly that turn her on. Like
your body isn't.
I'm exploring. I start with your heels.
Explore the wonderland.
I start with your heels, and it's like I'm in the Sahara Desert and the salt flats of Utah.
They're so cracked. You have athlete's feet. You need to paint your nails. Let's move up varicose vein ankles. Let's move up a little further. Wow, you have a lot of spider veins on your calves. I never noticed your knees were this red. Why are they so red and ashy? My God.
It just...
I have the worst varicose vein thighs of any man you'll ever see.
Everybody always... And that's, I think, why, if anybody's anything like me, where they're very... Like, they just want to be told exactly what to do. I'm utilitarian. It's like, all right, which valve do I turn? Which lever do I push?
It's not good to refer to your wife's vagina as valves, levers.
Yeah. What? How long? Give me the pump rate. I don't. I'll do the math. I just.
What do we got here? How much? You want to come in like a surgeon, and you're like, all right, what are we looking at here? They're like, okay, well, your wife is horny. You have 17 minutes. She wants a 3 to 5 pump ratio.
Maybe it's how my brain. I'm too robotic.
Why don't you let your wife fill out a form and tell you the thing she wants, and then almost like a waiter.
Yeah.
And then you go, and then she sits down, and then you just and then
because she's too awkward for that. I feel maybe John Mayer is so artistic and.
Well, first thing he's gonna do is be funny and not awkward. Ice break.
Yeah.
Maybe a little drink. Maybe
he's romantic.
Then he's gonna smoke like a joint with your wife, and then he's gonna start saying something about how you can tell a lot by looking into somebody's eyes, and if you can just look past a little bit of their eyes, sometimes you can actually see what their true worth is and where they hold their secret love.
That's the problem, Deborah and Jackie. I feel like there's an emotional aspect to a lot of women's sexuality that I can't tap into because I'm too robotic and
your approach to sex is chopping wood.
I'm emotionally detached and effed up or whatever way. So
I'm too emotional.
You know what? You should take our Tantra class tonight. It's great for couples.
Okay.
Tantra, do
Okay,
it.
that's what
It's
Sting
online.
does.
It's complete. Like your camera won't be on. Nobody will see you. I will send you guys a link. The Tantra class would be so good for you guys to connect.
Okay,
doesn't Puff Daddy do that? Sting?
Yeah.
Like
you have to tie
Sting does it. He has 24-hour orgasms.
Oh my God! I mean,
look, I'm entering hour 17 of mine right now. I mean, it's hard for me to do the show, ladies.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So
we don't get quite that advanced in this class. This is beginner. It's very great for connection, like emotional connection.
I know you're not going to listen to me, Tom. I know you won't. But this would be fun, dude.
What is it?
You guys would laugh and have so much fun, and then you'd end up having mind-blowing sex, and you'd come in tomorrow so happy.
And
I'm being serious right now. It's different. It's a different approach to sex.
Can you give us like a very simple description? Because we've all heard it, and all I know is that it's a long time, and then that's all I know about it. It's like,
you can do Tantra in as little as like 2 minutes. There's a 2-minute exercise that we do during the class, even less. Hold on 1 second. I'll give you a description of what Tantra is.
They call me 2-minute teacher in the streets. So
it
has a lot of similarities with like yoga and meditation too. It's very I think you dig it, dude.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we all know that the biggest human sexual organ is the brain. And if you're not in the mood, you'll rarely enjoy sex. And if the mood's not right, or if the mood is like just right, you will remember the experience for a while. So what Tantra is, it's the practice of bringing your mind, body, and spirit together to be more focused, gain a better understanding of yourself and your partner, and form a better connection. It's like an exchange of energy. It's used to promote relaxation and to create a more intimate connection between partners. And it uses like rhythmic breathing, and you share energy. And
there's your pump ratio.
Dude,
this is perfect for you.
To a lot of different people, but it's about like healing. And this class introduces the basic concepts of Tantra and explores how it can improve your life, sex, and your relationship.
Okay, what time is the class?
Hold on, it all sounded like a lot of.
It sounds like everything your wife wants: a connection with her, like an extremely intimate connection with the partner. That is the only thing your wife has been asking for.
I know.
And dare I say, the only problem in your relationship. If you fix that, brother, you have it all.
I know, but the thing is, I don't know what that even means. Like, tell me, you duking the energy?
No, they're gonna.
How many are duking?
No, you're gonna hold each other and bend certain ways and caress
and look at each other's eyes.
Yeah,
look
and
at
touch.
each other. Yes, it's about that connection and sharing that energy. Yeah, I think actually you really like it.
Have you ever
Have you
done
ever
this?
held me before?
Have you ever held your wife? Just held her. Have you ever
when I
gone and
hold
just
anybody, it's like a soldier holding a widow
Yeah.
after he announced or he told her that
you hold
your
people like
husband
you're
died
holding a wet dog.
D-Day. It's a frozen statue. That's what. I think that's what my brain. What if your brain is broken, Jackie and Deborah? Like, is there a way to fix it? Huh?
My brain is broken.
Okay, all right. Now we're getting somewhere. It's like, because maybe like so. Are you saying that even if you're not an emotional person and you're not necessarily a very like, I don't know, I'm not use over spiritual, but like energy, I know that there's a lot to it. Obviously, anybody who's been in a relationship knows like there's
but you're still going to have sex. You see what I'm saying? So the reason that I think that this might work for you is because you're attaching something that I know maybe you're not necessarily good at because it's not tangible, like feelings. I know that you're like, I don't really know what those are, but I do know you know what sex is.
Yeah, I know.
And so does that little dog. He knows what sex is. He is into it. And for you,
sorry about that.
No, I love it. Like dogs barking, we cut our teeth on that. That's how you're supposed to broadcast. And then so for you, I think this knowing that you're gonna still perform something that's real and touchable might be the way that you can connect with your wife and give her the things that you don't fully understand.
All right. I like that.
And if you like the class, we're doing another one, I think next month, where they will teach you the beginning parts of, February 18th, we're doing Tantra 201, where we will teach you the skills that you need to have a touchless orgasm.
What?
I've always wanted to be able to do that. Now, I have told a story on the show before that Tom doesn't believe, but I will swear on my daughter's life. At Hedonism, I was so high and so horny that I was able to look into the mirror on the ceiling and give myself my own erection looking at myself. Quickly. And it has always been a dream of mine to be able to do a touchless orgasm. Yeah, I'm into that. So this class sounds amazing because if you can do that.
What if, do you age out? Like you got to a certain point, you're like, oh yeah, you're 40 is hard because you're desensitized, too much bad living.
Nope.
Oh, yes.
As you get older, you actually, I think that working with these types of classes, and especially the Tantra, I think it's actually even more beneficial. It just kind of, re-energizes that relationship.
All right. Listen, I'm gonna seriously take 2021 to get better at this, and I'll check in with you guys as we go.
Okay.
And then
I'll
tell you how it's going.
The real check-in is going to have to be where maybe one day we ask Crystal, just give us thumbs up or thumbs down. You don't have to explain because I know might be oversharing. See what she says.
Oh, I thought you guys were going to watch,
I would watch
in those. Oh my! The surgeries where
I have said this before in this.
They do the surgery in the bottom, and then there's all the doctors up top looking.
That's how I was born, by the way.
In one of those things?
Yeah.
They like
at Shands Hospital in Gainesville. I was born in front of what do they call it? The gallery, and all the students are up there studying.
The pre-med students. Yeah. I imagine that.
I think over 150 UF students have seen my mom's vagina.
Come on.
Gosh.
She died this year. I don't know if you guys know that. I just like to tack that on. Guys, hey, thanks for being on the show. We appreciate it, y'all. And once again, when is the class? Tonight. It's tonight at what time?
Tonight. We have Tantra 101 at 8 p.m. Next week we have Rope Bondage 201 at 8 p.m. on Thursday. And then we have Pro Blow Advanced Oral coming up at the end of January 28th. Sex and Aging, February 11th, Tantra 201, February 18th. Those are all Thursdays, all 8 p.m., all online, all $15. Plus, you get a 15% discount on your Fair Villa purchase, either online or in store. So
Jeez Louise.
It's a great deal.
So you basically get your money
and
back.
you can spend an hour and a half with me. So.
Yeah, you get money back for getting educated. So that's awesome. Hey, guys, we love you. Take care. Happy New Year. And we can't wait to get you back in studio, okay?
All right.
Great.
Bye, guys. See you soon.
Care.
That is our good friends Jackie and Deborah from Fair Villa Mega Store.
Mm-hmm. It's like.
I love talking to them. I texted my wife earlier. Would it surprise you that I texted my wife earlier to find out if she could set out some lingerie? I'm feeling a little spicy.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Do you ever do that?
No, because that is
have you ever tried
pressure?
Yeah. Well, everybody's different, see, and that's what you're gonna. Maybe. I honestly think that you could figure this one out.
I'm. You know how I want to understand everything, so it's like if I never understood really. I'm like, why? What makes the difference between like an NFL wide receiver and like or someone who makes it to that level compared to like a really good college wide receiver? You know, I was like, what's the difference? Because it's so minute. I want to understand like, and it really does come down to like split-second route running and non-dropped balls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so the percentage of rules, but it's like, well, here's how you do it.
A lot of that then would be what not to do, right? Because those guys know how to minimize their mistakes. When you get to such a high level, it does matter. Then you start dialing in the tiny nuances really do make
of course now
the difference.
I'm just talking about getting.
By the way, I'm not that guy in the bedroom. I don't think that I'm a master or king of the hill or great at it or anything. No. I mean, I don't.
But I think most people are very bad, like myself.
But there are guys you can look at and you think they're good. Like you mentioned him earlier, Sting. Sting is the type of guy that even if I didn't know that Sting was into tantric sex with his wife, I forget her name. She's funny too, and they're both kind of into it.
Yeah.
I think that plays into the partners, but you could look at him and tell he's good at sex, right?
So that's where I get confused because I'm like, all right, if I wanted to become a better wide receiver, right, just literally now.
I think Christine nailed it.
What?
You want to hear what she says? Okay. Using football?
Yeah.
It's less about the individual wide receiver and more about his connection with his QB.
Now you've made it hard for me again because now you're throwing in mumbo
jumbo. The crow is the QB.
Yeah.
You're the receiver, or let's say she's the receiver. You're the QB. It's all about. It's always going to come down to the level of communication that you two have.
Okay, so it's
always.
So that's what makes it hard for me because it's not about. Like, okay, getting faster and making your cuts better and
what's your love language to Crystal? How do you guys communicate the most?
You're like, well, you have to work on your connection, and there's like, well, tell me how, like exactly how do I work? Like, what do I do to get connected?
You guys are mean. You've got these guys trained. Now they're beating up Christine, who just had a baby 4 days ago. They're how dare you insult Tom like that and make him more confused? They're like ganging up. This guy has you brainwashed.
Just tell me, like, all right, cut faster here.
Christine says you need to learn all the plays.
Okay, well, all
now
right.
Norm's beating up Christine again.
Okay, I'll memorize the plays. I know all the plays. I know every play. Yeah. I can do every play.
Okay.
Basically, I know how to do it within,
What if there's double coverage?
Are you going through get the spoon?
Are you going through your routine? Where are you going through? You going through your progressions? Red route. Are you looking at them all?
Yeah, then I just dump
you
off.
Throw it away.
just, dump off a pass to my running back who just went 5 yards up the field, and they're.
How many yards after the catch is she getting?
Yeah. They're running a coverage just so I don't make any long plays. I just keep dumping it off. Anyway, I don't know what it is. And the problem
is... It's a 2-minute drill, man. Let's get some points.
It all goes back to, I think, the connection and, like, forming this connection with your spouse. That's my problem. And no one can really tell me how to do that.
Yeah,
because it's all subjective.
Yeah, if you don't have a connection with her, sex will be bad. Stop! Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan. We only have 5 minutes here. You and Butler are in an argument because he has started a side business. He has an Etsy shop where he sells small miniature stormtrooper helmets that have been impaled on a pike to people that love The Mandalorian. He ages them, he patinas them, he puts them together, and he paints them, hand paints them, creates these. And then he gifts them off to people and sells them.
Butler.
And you're saying not only you can do it, but you would be better at it.
Yeah.
You're mocking him. You're making him feel like crap. Hostile work environment.
Do you want to have a competition where if we go into
I always want to do something to kill time at this stupid place. Yeah, competition, whatever it takes to get these dumb shit. Look, you're like, hey, do you want to? Yeah, I want to do anything. Anything.
As long as it involves me not doing
I
it.
have to be here, and you guys are like, hey, do you really want to do a competition where me and Butler are riding one wheels? I'm like, yes, because that'll be the show, and then I can go home and make love to my wife, see my daughter.
So what are these things again? So it's a how big are they, first of all?
Oh, well, they're scaled down helmets. I can't afford to buy these larger ones. They're very expensive.
Stormtrooper, a mini Stormtrooper helmet, and then I'll let
from the classic trilogy, and they're spiked on spikes as depicted on the streets of Navarro in The Mandalorian.
Okay. Now I did see that. I know what you're talking about. And now let's go over. So, the helmet itself, that's sold online somewhere, right? You're not
Correct.
You're not making the helmet.
No, I haven't acquired a 3D printer yet, but that will be. I'm going to buy one this year so I can kind of cut out the middleman.
Okay, and so you have to buy the helmet, and then you have to make the spike, right?
Correct.
And then so I know that there was last year you were working on figuring out a way to make the spike, but you figured that out.
Yep.
And so now you put the helmet through the spike. And then
he makes it look like it, like you can see I see the attention to detail where he cuts the point of
the spike,
where the wound would be. He flours it out kind of to make it look
like it punctured to
like
the
a
bottom.
legitimate, you stuffed a head on a pike.
And then you make it look aged or like the movie or whatever. So from start to finish, what amount of time would you say that
you
this
sold
is?
another one. Norm wants one now that Christine bought
Norm.
one.
Oh, yeah?
No,
What? You don't control Norm. You don't get to tell.
Why do you want that, Norm?
He said, Christine says it's legitimately gorgeous, which kudos to you, Butler.
Oh, you haven't even seen it.
Norm
yet. You saw a
says,
picture of
now
it.
that Christine bought one, I kind of want to get one as well.
By the way, and you saw the picture of the one that he made for himself, not the one that he's going to make for all these other customers he's got.
He's going to do the same technique, right?
Something tells me that each one is going to be
Progressively get worse.
How dare you? Till it's just...
Eventually, it's just like a helmet with some doo-doo on it. And or it's a kit. It's like, make your own.
So, now, how long does this whole process take?
The whole process probably takes me almost 2 hours each helmet.
Okay, 2 hours each helmet. How much are the total materials cost to make each one of these head spike things?
I'm not sure you want to put that out there, dude.
Yeah. I'm not trying to ruin my
when
business,
people
bro.
realize that it's about $5 worth of material you're selling for hundreds of dollars.
Well, that's about, everybody knows that's how business works.
It's like
you buy cheap, you sell more.
It's like 70% profit.
Okay, and then so with the 2 hours in there, what kind of profit do you think you're making per transaction when it's all said and done? What do you think there?
I mean, I'm making a decent. I mean, I'm making my money back.
Is it how much are each one of these?
$100.
$100. Okay. So and if I'm gonna just say $25, yeah. How much? What do you think Butler values his time?
What's
Next
the? What is the pike? A wooden dowel or?
It's a large wooden dowel that I shave it down myself.
Oh, wow.
Hand shaven.
Hand
shaved.
That's gotta take more than 2 hours. This is BS. This thing took you 17 hours. No way. No, you hand shave a wooden dowel.
I can shave a wooden dowel in 15 minutes.
I'm calling BS. Do you think you can shave?
I don't know why. I'd have to see him make it.
Hold on.
Time lapse.
Hold on. If one day we can't do it tomorrow because we need you for the Friday Free Show because Samantha's not here. But on one Friday Free Show, it's about 2 hours, right? The Friday Free Show. So if you brought all the
this is
the
awesome.
materials,
This is like having somebody paint an eagle live while Tony Robbins is doing a speech. I love those.
If you brought all
it's
the
like
materials,
while we were doing the show, let's check back in with Butler. He's making a wooden.
But the problem is with that, like I need dry time because the paint has to dry. So it dries. I do it one day, the paint dries overnight, and then I continue it. So I mean, technically, I guess it takes 2 days to do. But I mean, as far as creativity and like the time me working on it, it's 2 hours.
I'm even saying, okay, so even if you
make
had
Christine mad, Tom.
What?
I can't read some of the stuff, so she's probably going to cancel her membership because of you.
I'll send her an email.
I'm thinking that it's got to take, even with like shaving the wooden dowel, then you got to paint the wooden dowel. What else do you do? What you make the helmet look aged.
I dye the cheesecloth. I shred that. I have to cut the base. I have to create a base for the spike to go onto. There's some drilling. It's a lot of painting. It's a lot of detail painting,
Okay.
and it's very finesse. There's got to be a finesse to it because there's not.
Every time you
2 hours,
you take
seems like a stretch.
Every time he says one of these, like I'm kind of like in the middle where I'm like I just don't care, you know. And you're more of a you hate it kind of a guy.
yeah.
And what's funny is that I almost feel like maybe you're inching into the jealousy category.
No jealousy.
Well, that's what I'm hearing
I don't have
because it
jealousy.
sounds a little weird.
I only have hate. People confuse it because sometimes jealousy involves hating the person because you're jealous that you want to do this too. This is just pure hate.
Okay.
Everything I do, I just hate this, hate that, whatever you're doing.
I stand corrected.
Whatever
I
anybody's
thought
doing,
I
I'm
was
like, I hate
hearing
it.
like I wish I could make something like that.
No, hell no. I couldn't be farther from what I want to do with my time.
Well, he can't do it during a live show.
Now, if I saw that,
what if he could kick in a couple of these, one for each of them for your boys?
Believe me, I'm always looking for business ideas out there. If I saw that there was somehow I could use this or like turn Butler into a spear. Stormtrooper
Well, he said
factory.
it was 75% profit, which means it's $25 worth of stuff he's using, right? Because it's $100.
Because if I saw that, then I forever
So
just
get
buy
him cranking these things out.
Yeah. Then
Put
I'd
them on the website.
Well, then I'd have Butler teach, like homeless people, whoever it could work for next
you
to
don't
nothing.
want homeless people making your stormtrooper helmets.
Well, I just get a factory on 50 or whatever, and just have a bunch of people that fallen on hard times pumping these things out.
Whittle faster.
And then,
is there that much of a demand? How many do you think you could sell? Are you going to set up a booth at like a MegaCon or anything?
No. I'm only doing. I think I'm going to shoot for 20 of these limited edition. I'm not, and then I'm going to move on to something else. Tom's right. I will get bored with it because it's honestly, I don't want it to change my hobby into a job. I enjoy doing this, and if it comes down to there's a lot of pressure, I won't want to do it.
I will bet Daniel. You want to take this bet that Butler
definitely at least 10 though
does not make over 5 of these.
How many have you made?
So
I have 7 on order, so
I'm going under 5.
Even though he has 7 on order.
Yeah, I'm going 5 and
Wow.
under. Will you take that bet? I'll bet you a cool hundo.
Well, now he's sitting in front of you. Now he's going to do everything within his power to hit the 7. Just to prove you're
still
wrong.
that confident. Even if Butler does everything within his power to do over 5, then he'll fall short.
All right, I'll take it.
Okay. He'll make over 5.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Now this
just
doesn't,
for fun.
This doesn't count the one you made for himself.
No. These are new ones.
Yeah. These are new. This counts.
I haven't made one for myself. I have a large, almost full scale one that's huge in I use as a prop, and then all these little ones are being sold.
Okay. Have you made one little one so far?
Correct. Yeah. I gave it to the Con Cantina podcast yesterday.
Oh, okay. So anything after that, though, that's where I'm going. 5 after that. This for sure. He gets disinterested after he makes 1. He's mad. I saw how he got mad at the tomatoes he was growing.
Okay.
I saw
when something goes wrong.
Yeah.
So you're banking on the fact that one of his
wood.
wooden dowels doesn't come out right, or one of his
Or
helmets comes in weird.
He gets distracted. His wife's yelling at him.
Or she throws it out accidentally. They were just stupid toys.
Yeah, he gets into something else. Easily distracted. He's petting his dog.
Ghostbusters trailer comes out, a new one. Yeah, all right.
And he wants to prove me wrong. He'll do 2.5. But that'll be like, screw it. I don't care about Daniel's money. And don't forget about all this. And then weeks later, I'll ask him 2.5.
We got to take a break.
Bye-bye.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha and Butler are here, and we're easing into a Tuesday.
Yep, and on the line with us, a great sponsor of ours, True Leave. And from True Leave, we have Skylar and Dee on the phone to tell us about some new locations, some products. I have some questions. How you guys doing?
We're good. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, really good. Good to talk to you guys, and we hope you guys had a good holiday and a good new year.
Absolutely did, guys.
Mm-hmm. So let's right off the bat, let's talk about new locations. Because it's interesting. Over our break, I was down in Inglewood, Florida.
Oh, wow.
Which is the West Coast. I didn't even know this city existed. It's down there in Manasota Key.
Manasota Key, yeah.
Yeah, like south of Tampa, Sarasota area. And I was literally down there. And then I was like, oh, man, I didn't bring enough True Leaf capsules that I wanted, then I was like, oh God, like I was mad about it. And then literally we're driving
Never fear.
and I looked to the right and True Leaf right there. I was like, yes! So, I was like, yes! Now, I could have easily...
That'll save a vacation.
Yeah, and so I just feel like nowadays, wherever you live in Florida, there's a True Leaf location somewhat close to you.
Indeed.
And that's what you guys have been trying to do, correct?
Yeah, so obviously patient availability is going to be most important. So if we can be like a CVS where we're on every corner, that's what we're looking for. So we're happy that you kind of just drove by and saw a True Leaf, because that's literally what we're trying to do. We're trying to make sure that there's a True Leaf in every city so that you always have access.
Yeah,
Nice.
no. And I feel too like I've gotten used to the True Leaf products and how they work with me. Like I've gotten used to how the sativas work and certain strands, and the indica works, and then once I get used to that, I don't like to switch because now I know what to expect, and
Sure.
and I think a lot of people are like that. And once they dive into it, like I feel, and tell me if you guys have come across this or think this is true. Before medical marijuana, if you enjoyed marijuana, it was kind of like you got it wherever you could, and you just random crazy, and it's like, so people
Not
are
good.
so used to consuming marijuana a certain way that I feel like once they get their medical card and start using and going through all of True Leaf's products, you find the ones that dial you in exactly, and then you know what to expect every time, and that's a different experience than maybe what people are used to doing back in the day before this was available.
Yeah.
So first of all, I think that being able to go to a store and or order your cannabis online is just that's what we've been looking for a really long time.
Sure.
You're absolutely right, where you had to go meet X in parking lot B and have a weird transaction where you don't want to be. But now you can go into a store and pick it up like you're dry cleaning.
Yeah. And
you also know what you're getting.
And getting the dose right, and getting a product that it's dosed correctly, and you know exactly. And
Not to mention, and I'm just throwing it out there, I really like y'all's staff. I use the Colonial location. And that location, I really, that's becoming my favorite one to go to, because I basically know everybody there now.
Yeah.
And the amount of free stuff that you guys give me, like last time I went, I got a silicone ashtray that you can fold up if you had like a pre-roll or something.
Yeah.
Then next time I went, I got a metal engraved rolling tray. Have you seen these? They're amazing. And then the next time I came, I got a digital camo hat, which is different than the one that we even give away.
Yes, yeah.
It's like you guys are always rotating like the stuff, but every time I come out of there, I get some new stuff, and I appreciate that. So tell us, like, what new locations have you recently rolled out? Are there like new ones you guys have rolled out in the last month?
Yeah, so we actually opened location 71 today, which is insane, in Gainesville, and it's so crazy because we opened directly across the street from US.
Wow.
Yeah, that will not be popular.
Oh, no, not at all. No one will ever go there.
No.
And then above, our store is above a Wawa and a liquor store. So it's like all in one. You can get your snacks, you can get your medical cannabis, like you get everything you need. You're good to go.
My God. Could you imagine? I went to college at the wrong damn time. Like back in 2003.
We didn't even have Subway on campus when I went to college.
I don't know.
I was just eating some old lunch lady stuff. I ate the same stuff you ate in elementary school in college. That's how old I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really exciting. 71 locations is crazy to think.
Where do you guys want to go? What is there an in-game number for Florida or no? Is it just as much as we deem
is the market demands, right?
Yeah, it's really just like I said, we want to make sure that the product is accessible to everyone in every city. So if there's a city that we're not in, we're looking to get involved in that city, and we're looking to open a store so that we can serve those patients in that community. That's really the end goal, is to make sure that like I said, just like a CVS, that there's going to be a cannabis dispensary on every corner so that you can get your cannabis.
Yeah, we're speaking to our buddies from True Leaf. Oh, sorry, Dee, go ahead.
I was just about to say, I remember, when Skylar and I first started, there were much fewer locations. I started at location number 13, and here we are at 71. And I remember people had to drive, 2 hours uphill both ways, to try and get to their cannabis dispensary. And now, like you said, in Inglewood, Florida, you can just run into one, which is so great. You don't have to have that pre-order set up. You can just stop in and say, hey, since this one's on my way home, let me stop in and see what I can pick up.
Yeah, and I wanted to say one other thing, and I actually flagged this and made a note. My my home location, the Colonial one, they're really, really, really good, and most locations are extremely good. You can use your almost like a virtual check-in deal, where you get an email saying that they have your order. You pull into the parking lot. Well, the waiting room, because they're trying to keep you safe as well, may be packed with people that are already getting their stuff. So you just hit your button, and I just sit in my car, honestly, just listening to the music I like or a podcast, and then they let me know when I can walk in, get my order, and I'm out. It's the best thing in the world, man. I absolutely love it. But that is the easiest way to do it. I've had some people that will get out of their cars and stand in line. You don't even have to do that. Just check in via your email and then just sit in your car and enjoy your day.
Also, sorry, there was one other thing that another tip, because I go to True Leave all the time, and sometimes I'll go to order online and make my order or whatever, and then I'll pick it up. And I remember one time I was ordering online. I ordered some edibles that they had in stock.
Sure.
And then, but they didn't have the capsules that I like. I like the 10 milligram True Leaf sativa capsules. And
those are my jam.
Yeah, I know. They're great.
They're great.
And so, but then when I go to the Longwood location. That's the closest to my house. When I went there to pick up my edibles, I just thought I'd throw it out there and ask one of the fine people behind the counter. And I'm like, you don't happen to have any capsules? And they're like, oh, yeah, we got 2 left. And because online, I'm sure just like any
it's so
business,
rapid fire, man.
there's probably, you don't want to have people ordering stuff online that doesn't exist because they already got bought up. So I'm sure there's probably small amounts that may be in the store that don't represent the online. So I'm just saying, just ask at your local location just in case they do have some
That's
extra.
why they're there. They're fine folks.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's systems in place, just like you said, so we don't, try and oversell ourselves. It's nice that you were able to pick that up, I always ask, you know what I mean? Closed mouths don't get fed, is what my mom said.
Yeah, no,
I mean, it can be, and we've spoken on this maybe a little bit, but maybe not as much as we should have. I know that sometimes, especially for new patients, it can be a little, maybe you got a little anxiety because it does seem a little weird, or it's new to you, and maybe you're a little scared or whatever. It's intimidating, but everybody that works there is so kind, and when I go in there now, I definitely ask, because sometimes they just got something in that day that might be great for you.
Also, I wanted to ask you guys, my mom recently got her medical card.
Yeah, she got a recommendation,
and it was a big deal for her, and she's been wanting to do it. She finally made it I'm going to do it during the Christmas break. She got it. She loves it. And have you guys seen that, where you'll see a customer convince their parents to go ahead and get their card, because and I just feel like their generation, they're more of a faux pas, and they're more standoffish. Yeah. But when their kids talk to them about it and you have an open conversation, this is how it works. I feel like more parents should do that.
Oh, absolutely. We see that all the time. Just because it's safer, right? So it's like, Mom, you can go in and get the same product almost every single time, and you know what you're getting, like you said. If you are taking a sativa capsule every day, you can still go in and it's going to be that same feeling for you, and it's going to be a lot safer because of third-party testing, which obviously is best for your parents because you want to make sure that they don't get sick. But then, with our 55 and older community, we always do, I don't know if she's aware of this or not, but every Sunday we do 10% off all day, and it is stackable. So if we have some sort of sale going on where, so it wouldn't be today, but for example, today we have, I think it's 15% off all concentrates. But if we were doing that on a Sunday, she could stack that and get 25% off.
Oh, wow. I did not even know that.
Yeah.
And that's for everybody on Sunday over 55?
Yep.
Right.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
Also, your staff
Yep.
is really good at letting me know about ways that I can save money. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for you guys, but they tell me. They're like, hey, you have X amount of points. You want to take $60 off your... Yeah, it's always a ton of money. And I'm like, yes, I would like to do that. And they just keep saying it. And they're like, do you want your 15%? Oh, you want your 10% off today? It's 5% off. There's always something going on. Again, another reason to talk to these people. Use communication and talk to them and figure things out.
Yeah.
So, of course, I remember the last time we talked, and we tell everybody when you get your re-recommendation or your re-up, or just call your doctor and get the edibles tagged on to your recommendation, your current recommendation. They'll do that. But you have edibles, and they're super popular because they're hard to get.
Well, you guys did something that another one of our clients does, and it's the flavoring. White Claw are they're synonymous with having great flavors.
Yes, the gummy,
you guys have amazing flavors. In fact, I don't know if this was. I had 2 questions I wrote down for you. Did you guys have Christmas specific flavors? Because there was sugar plum, and then somebody else talked about peach cobbler. Being I think it was a vape cartridge flavor. Are these things that were just seasonal, or are these things that will be around always?
So those were seasonal, right? So we try and throw out some things there that are unique to the season or unique to a certain time of year. Peach cobbler, yes, and sugar plum came out just for the Christmas time. I think we were toying with like a mint chocolate vape that just came out.
Nice.
I think we're just going to keep trying to roll out some flavors for some people that are interested.
Yeah,
we hear
sugar plum was amazing. Like those, honestly, I don't even know what a sugar plum is, but it was amazing. And I liked.
I think it's made up.
Yeah, I loved the Christmas tie-in, as did my wife. And then, the peach cobbler, Tracy, who's a big fan of True Leaf, she wanted me to ask that question to you guys. So that's good to know. It gives us something to look forward to in 8 to 10 months.
Absolutely, it's something special too. You get it that one time a year, and then when it comes back around next year, you're like, oh man, I remember that peach cobbler. I got to grab it up again.
Yeah.
But the sugar plum flavor we have in our edible line, so check it out. And that one's there all the time.
Okay, great. Okay. Yeah, I love that one.
Well, speaking of products, are there any new products coming out that we should look out for?
I'm sure. I mean, we are launching new products every single day, so I would just make sure to follow social media, make sure that you're subscribed to our text messages and our emails. If you have not looked into our CBN capsules yet, those are probably, I think, my and Dee's favorite product that we have.
Hold on, what are they called?
Because it is not.
Yeah, obviously.
It's called a CBN capsule.
CVN.
Yeah, you are obviously you have my phone bugged. That was my last question for you guys. In fact, I started talking to the fine ladies at my location about these capsules, and then I was taking up too much of their time, and they needed to get somebody else in. So I said, "Yeah, I'll look it up." Obviously, I forgot to look it up. So, what exactly are these CBN capsules?
So our CBN line is focused around sleep, trying to bring a little bit more calmness to our patients. That it's not necessarily a CBD line.
Okay, so is it just is a CBD heavy? Is it an indica or?
No. So it is going to be, there are no psychoactive effects.
Okay.
Right? So you're not going to take that and have that high feeling. So this is going to be really good for someone who struggles with sleep, needs something to relax at the end of the day. You can also take it during the day. It's going to be really good for anxiety as well. But like I said, you're not going to have the psychoactive effects. So you're not going to take a pill and then feel like you could potentially get high throughout the day.
Gotcha.
Because that's not what it's done for.
Yeah.
But it's it's directly tied to CBD.
Yeah,
gotcha,
they did a study, and I pulled it up real.
CBN.
Yeah, CBN. In 2011, the British Journal of Pharmacology, they did a study and said that THC, when combined with CBN, would activate almost like a I don't know how to say it, like
calming effect.
Like an amazing but non-psychoactive couch lock, meaning you're not high, but you're extremely sedated, relaxed, and chill. But
like
you don't
body
have
highs. You're not freaking out a little bit.
Yeah, high is the wrong term. You're not high.
Yeah,
you're just locked to your couch.
Yeah. Correct.
And I wouldn't say locked to your couch, right? So as Skylar said earlier, you can take it during the day.
Yes.
And that fact that tied with more THC, so the combination of CBN and THC is what's really going to give you that deep relaxation. If someone has like really massive anxiety, it'd be a great way to kind of level that out throughout the day.
Gotcha.
Right? And then if you go ahead and choose to add THC, then you can get that supreme relaxation and sleep.
Oh, I want the Supreme.
Yeah.
You're talking to Mr. Supreme.
Yeah, I like my sleep like I like my pizza, brother, and let's Supreme that thing up.
Just go ahead and supersize me to extreme, please. Thank you.
Give me the Super Supreme. I'll take it all.
It's all the THC. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on the show with us.
We appreciate it, y'all.
Of course.
Thank you for telling me about CBN. I'm gonna literally, I'm gonna check online and see if I can pick that up today.
Yeah.
At Longwood location, just to see, because I want to try it out.
Yeah.
Absolutely, please do. That CBN line and the other shocker that would be a great treat to add into your everyday regimen is a True Powder. It's nano-emulsified powder THC that you can put into any liquid. You can hydrate, put it in your water for the day, and have small doses of THC throughout your entire day.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Well, guys, thanks so much. We appreciate it. We look forward to talking to you again very, very soon.
Of course, you two. You all have a good weekend.
You too, guys. Be good.
See ya.
Those are our good friends Skylar and Dee from True Leave. I'm on their website right now.
Man, it's
scoop some stuff up.
It's so good. We have this, right? It would stink. Imagine if you enjoyed THC.
I do.
Me too. And then
I have my anxiety dialed in pretty good right now for sleeping.
But right now you're 80 years old and you spent your whole life dodging the cops, getting whatever you could, garbage from your weed dealer, and then it's never the same each time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even if you got it dialed in to someone, it's still janky, and to just be able to go into any True Leave and get exactly what you need. You don't have to eat the only eat the stingray's tail, or you're gonna freak out. You're like, I only ate it. I still freaked out. I'm like, it must have melted all the. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's none of that BS. And you're like, all right, 10 milligrams is 10 milligrams. You know, like if I want 2, I'll take 20. You know
I can remember.
You want 100, take 5.
Right before medical marijuana became like a thing in Florida, I can remember people would give me like a little bag of, and it was recreational marijuana.
Eat the troll's hammer.
Yeah,
I don't want to eat the troll's hammer.
And it's always like some of them were rainbows, and then little thing. And I'm like, what is it? A gummy bear? But then the gummy bear smells like poo-poo. And they're like, no, eat it. It doesn't taste that bad.
I ate the head one day ago, didn't do nothing, and then I ate the arm, and I blew my socks off.
Like one day you take one gummy, and you go to the hospital. The other day you take a whole package, you're fine.
All over the place. Anyway, great. Look at the world we live in. It's so good.
See, it's not that bad.
Get your recommendation too. It's easy. People ask us all the time, like, do I go? I saw on a BDM page. They're like, do I go into True Leave and get my card? I'm like, why? Haven't you heard? You listen? Look it up.
Can you read?
Just go to True Leave's website. Look at the physician section. They recommend DocMJ, or there's tons of them. Choose one, go to there, get your recommendation, good to go. Once you get the email, you're good. People are waiting a week now. Daniel waited 8.5 months.
I waited 8.5 months.
Some people get it before a week. Anyway.
Well, I had to get mine written. They had to write it to me, stick it in an envelope, and hand write it. My original card was like an old library card from the 1970s.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back with more A Corporate Time.